Hey, well, I have another video. This video is about, if you see the description or the title of the video, it's about the one and only book. From what I've come together, one of the only books Aleister Crowley came out with that, or one of the only books that don't come out from Aleister Crowley that was in syndication or was out that is not in syndication, or they stopped publication of that book. So I have different titles or different types of books from Aleister Crowley. Even on one dealing with the O.T.O. I have some on the 777 book, the book 4. I have a couple of different, the book of Thoth, a couple of different books from Aleister Crowley, the book of the law. So the thing is, those are some of his most famous books. I think I have a few more, but it's just not running off the top right now. That's the thing. He has some good information in there, and all that information he was giving out. So if people really know about Aleister Crowley or something, a little bit about him, in 1904, that's when one of his most famous books, when he was really making his space around the O.T.O. when he came out with the Book of the Law in 1904. He was in Cairo, Egypt. I read that book in one night. It's a small, it's not a pamphlet, but it's a small book. But you won't gather everything in all in one night. You know what I'm saying? So I was just so excited to read it. I just read through it, and I was making notes and everything. But I still go back and forth with that book sometimes. Like when I see stuff and I have an idea or so, and I decide to read that book a little bit out of the 3 chapters, and it's like sometimes something new will open up to you at different points. So I made this video not to speak about that, but I'm gonna keep going with what I'm saying. I'm gonna get back to what I have my thoughts around me. So in 1904, when he was out there in Egypt or Kemet with his wife Rose, and they was at a museum in Egypt, and they were just walking around, and she said somebody told me to show you who I am. That's the character or the deity he ended up that was taking over his physical body, which is Ankh, Afna, Khonsu, or with Khonsu is a moon deity. He has a full moon and also not a quarter. It's close to it's a crescent moon. That's what it is, a crescent moon. So he has a crescent moon and a full moon on his head, dealing with the woman, because the woman, and then often Khonsu deals with the woman's cycle too, also. So that means what? Sex tantra, dealing with the blood. They say the vampire. The vampire, you see blood in his face. I mean, he went below the like Andre 3000 say, the love below. So he went, the vampires, they would be having their mouth on the woman's vagina or the pussy, and when she's bleeding around that time of year. That's when you mainly hear of the vampires biting the neck, but it's about the collars, the Shakti power. So what that is different times of the month when it's getting closer to that full moon, and then when it's no moon. So full moon and no moon is very powerful times. So I'm not losing myself. I'm gonna get back to what I was talking about. So Ankh and the Khonsu took over Aleister Crowley's body, and she pointed out at the end of the walking through of the museum, she showed him that that's the one I seen in her dream or in her mind that wanted you to come across him, and he saw the stele of revealing self, and it said 666 at the bottom. That's just 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, which is also the beast, Beauty and the Beast. The the Scarlet Woman. And so as he was developing through his years, he started putting more and more together, and his students did after he left, put more and more together. So all it is, if you're a highly melanated person, a so-called black person, this is all our information. Ain't nothing to be afraid of or to be scared of. That means you're only afraid of your own power, and that leaves you what? Powerless to what? To pray to some so-called God that's very weak, that needs your help. So anyway, reason why I say that, why run away from your power? So-called black people, highly melanated people, you know what I'm saying? Why would we run away from our power? So that they only tell us in church to stay away from that black magic because it's black people's magic, our real magic. Okay, so we 5 minutes and 55 seconds in, 555, stay balanced. Okay, that's not bad. So from there, he was actually, all the information they're getting in these Mason lodges, these different lodges, or the Eastern Stars and all that. This is old information. This is all old information, and this is they only thing the white people, Arabs, all these different people have only been custodians of our information. That means keeping it intact, going through it. You know how they go through tombs and desecrate it or whatever, and trying to learn everything about it and see what they had inside. I used to be mad at one point, but now when I look at it, I'm like, in order for us to have this information, they had to do that because they don't have no culture. Like Bobby Hemmings said, they don't have no culture. They gotta go through our shit and figure out, hey, look at all this great amazing stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we don't realize it's our stuff. It's only gonna be a few. Not saying we better than anybody else. A few that are gonna be able to get this, or to be able to stand it or take it. You know what I'm saying? So, and we supposed to do that in order to sift it out and synthesize it or break it down for our people, the ones that really want to know. I don't go to nobody trying to save nobody's soul. You know what I'm saying? I just live my life. But the thing is, if somebody has a question or whatever, they see something about you and you have some information, that means you can help somebody on their journey. I'm not trying to save your soul. I'm going to help you save your own soul. How about that? That's even better. That means you got the power now. You don't have to wait for a preacher every Sunday, Wednesday, Bible study. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta wait for none of that. You become the driver of this vehicle. Your vehicle is your body, and we're only here to get information. So those preachers and those so-called false prophets, they're actually holding you up from your actual power, because you're giving it not just tithes, which is your power, because it's your energy. You're giving your energy and your time to something that you will never be able to see, because when you pray, you're only talking to yourself. Okay, I'm gonna get back to what I was saying. I don't want to get off point. So, one of Aleister Crowley's books, you know, when he was taken over by Ankh and Khonsu. So Ankh and Khonsu, Khonsu is very delicate, because, you know, with the moon, you can find this in the Necronomicon too also. And you have a moon deity named Sin, okay? Or Nana, is Necronomicon of Samaria, which is like in Iraq and, let's see, the Iraq area and the Persia area. So the deity, the moon, it's a moon deity. You put all these different consonants together, and they have different names, but the same kind of background. So his name is Sin, or the original name is Nana, Nanna, or Sin, Sin. So, and that name, those moon deities, which deals with what? The Necronomicon. And they said that the Necronomicon is supposed to be what? Part of the fourth race of Atlantis. I don't have the other book in front of me right now. I wish I would. I was gonna make this. Something told me to make the video later on in the day, and I had this book on me. I'm gonna show you, but this is the book I'm talking about. So if the fourth race is the people from the or the deities from the Necronomicon from the Atlantis. Now I end up coming across and doing some doing some work, some physical, spiritual, some spiritual work. But when you doing the spiritual, you have to live in multiple dimensions. And when I say that, I mean like you living in this regular world or the third dimension, but you also in other dimensions too also. So like when I see 222, it just, I already know it, but it keeps reminding me that it's I'm in multiple dimensions. Even though this body I'm walking around in right now, your mind is the only way you can go through dimensions. So that's what the dimensions are in your mind. That's why they have a disease called dementia. Dementia, you stuck in one dimension of a past. Or it could be a future, you never know, but because the future is only, time is like seconds. So every second is the future. You know what I'm saying? It's not the present. It's only the past and the future. No such thing as the present. So the book I'm talking about that's not in publication or in syndication anymore. And I found this book and it was kind of expensive. I was like, when I saw it, I had to get it. I was like, I had to get it. Because there's no way you're going to run across this again. I looked for it plenty of times. And I knew you know what I'm saying? That's the funny part. Sometimes you don't get stuff when you actually looking for it. It'll come to you when you're going through a certain process with the ancestors. I went through something. I ended up going through something, and I came out victorious. And and then I look down, I look away, I look around. Next thing I know, there was an avenue for me to get this book, and I took it. Just like that, took that avenue and said, I'm gonna get that book. So the name of the book that I'm talking about that came out by Aleister Crowley. Okay, just so you can see it. I had the book covering the camera the whole time. All right, see, it was when I got it from this the place, or when I got it sent to me. You see Crowley, it was a little bit damaged right there. So his name is Crowley, Crowley. And you see what? Atlantis, the lost continent, Atlantis. Okay, and you can find it by Dove Press. And this is the hardback, small red version of his book. It's like a reddish pinkish version, reddish pinkish color. Okay, I'm gonna pause it real quick. Hold on. All right, so you see, just open the book. It says Atlantis by Aleister Crowley, and it's by Dove Press. And it still has that library smell. You smell a book when it's been in the library so long, or a shelf of books so long, it smells like that. Okay, as you see it, Liber Lie, the Lost Continent. All right. Now I'm gonna get right to the part. I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna stop it right here. Where the book is at. All right, chapter 1. Right. So I'm gonna just stop it, and I'm gonna talk for a little bit, and we're gonna get right into it. So now I've learned this from Bobby Hemmett, making sure I get his name. I'm always putting his name out there because all the information, the ancestors was with him, and they still are with him and around him. And the thing is, I was able to get a lot of information. I wasn't able to sit in those classes. I wasn't even thinking about this type of information at that time when he was doing this stuff. He stopped around like 2000. They told him to stop at 2008. They told him to stop, and he said, "I'm gonna stop." So he listened to him, and he after he stopped, he had the stroke. But it was very intentional. I understand what's going on with that, But let's get back to this. I don't want to. I don't want to go off somewhere else. So I remember he brought up this book in one of his lectures one day. I was like, whoa, I never heard of that book. So, but then I looked it up when he said it, and I've seen it, but I couldn't find it nowhere. So years later, like a year or so later, I ended up getting this book. Year and a half or a year later, I got this book. So the reason I remember he said in the book, he said in the lecture, he said, man, it's really the reason why that book is not in syndication no more is because of what Atlantis means. And he said it's like on the first page, the very first page. And I'm right here. It's page what number? I'm gonna show you. Page number 1. That's what his information is at. It says, I'm gonna show you too. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, it says this. No. It says that the black woman is the meaning of Atlantis. Now, let me get to that part. So when he said that, I was like, okay, that's going to be a very good reason why they wouldn't put his book in syndication or publication. So as you see, you have all these different races getting with the highly melanated so-called black woman, right? So when you have that, they trying to get to where Atlantis. So remember, if we don't know about our magic, trust me, they know, because they know that they call Aleister Crowley what? The wickedest man in the world. They call him the wickedest man in the world with our information he has, calling him the wickedest man in the world. So if he has our information, then we got to get our information and then become the wickedest people in the world. You feel you feel what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, let's. When I said it became a thing of mine. I said, when I ever get across it, I'm gonna find that book. I just, sometimes I would remember, sometimes I wouldn't. But when it came across, I had to do something and took care of some information, took care of some stuff, and it was a very out of the blue, extravagant. It was but I was just saying, I'm not gonna say too much, but it happened. So I passed that test and I ended up getting it. So I'm gonna get right to this. I'm gonna read it for you. So I'm revisiting what I had to do to end up getting this book. It was wild. It was nice things. But but I'm gonna get right into it. All right. All right. So I'm gonna start from the beginning and get you to the whole paragraph. You probably read it by now while I'm talking to you. All right. This is chapter 1, of course, on page 1. Of the plains beneath of the plains beneath Atlas. So Atlas is called Atlantis. So when you have Atlas on a map, when you see a world map, Atlas, because Atlantis was all one landmass. It was like one big continent. So that's why when you say Atlas on your map, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at Atlantis broken up. That's crazy. So Atlas is the true name of this archipelago continent, is an altogether false term, for every house or mountain peak was cut from its fellows by natural, though often very narrow waterways. The African Atlas is a mere offshoot of the range. It was the true Atlas that supported the ancient world by its moral and magical strength, and hence the name of the fabled globe bearer. The root is the Lemurian Tila or Tilas, black, for reasons which will appear in due course. In the A, think about it, in the A is the feminine prefix, derived from the shape of the mouth when uttering the sound. Black woman is therefore near a translation as one can give in English. The Latin has a closer equivalent. So you move so fast through that. Okay. I got you. Okay. So A is the feminine prefix, derived from the shape of the mouth when uttering the sound. Black woman. So that's what Atlantis means. Black woman. So remember the song by the Isley Brothers, Atlantis, I always come back to you. 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 She's my lady, now and ever. Oh, how can I know? How can you know? You know what I'm saying? This is what we wrote a long time ago, and our ancestors had to come through Aleister Crowley and made that happen. So when they have our information and we don't do nothing with it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like we damn near spit in our own faces or our ancestors' faces. But remember, we are our ancestors. So when we go off the path, we don't stay on the right path, a lot of things get messed up or fucked up for you. So when you're doing things you're supposed to do, it's gonna be hard. I know it's hard. Trust me, it's very hard. But it's very gratifying when you see these things culminate in front of you. The things that you're supposed to be doing, the things, when it's very strict on you. You know what I'm saying? It's very very decisive choices you got to make. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the fool sometimes. And the fool, and they say the tarot deck can be played at any time on the tarot, in the tarot. So that means the fool, you can act like you don't. If you feel like you know everything with your ego, you're gonna pass something up that can really help you. So just be like, I don't know this. Like, then if you don't know it, then you open yourself up to learn something that can help you, and get past something or get to something that you need to get to for your journey. You know what I'm saying? So the fool, that's why the fool is so important, because the fool, you can, like they say, a wise man can play the part of a fool, but the fool can't play the part of a wise man. And they say, like, wise man will be a fool will be apart from his money. Money can be spiritual currency, not just physical money. You know what I'm saying? So same thing. So I wanted to bring that out. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to, it was in me to say this and bring this out. So this is a very pertinent. That means important to me. So I was like, I had to get this out. So if anybody catches it, that's great. So you can probably catch the PDF if you don't want to get the book, because it's hard to find the book. I think it's a PDF. I just didn't want it. I just wanted the book. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted it. I just like books in my hands. Like, PDF is cool, you know what I'm saying? But I just like to have that book in my hand. So it's like, damn, I really got to see something our ancestors gave to us in a form, and they're not even putting it out. Every other book, look all the books they put out by Aleister Crowley. Look at all of those books he put out. You can go online yourself, and you will never, ever damn near find this book. If you type it in, I only found one. When I found that one, I said, go get it. And I went and got it too. So when I found it, I made it happen. So I'm grateful to the ancestors, and I am my ancestors. So that means it's just circulating energy back to the self. But yeah, all highly melanated people or so-called black people, don't be afraid of black magic. It's only your own magic, your own power. Remember, them preachers told you that shit because they get paid by the government. The government know, and we get our information really how we supposed to, how they got our shit. We'll be running, like, not running this physical plane, because it's actually going into, like, it's like two worlds merging. You're gonna have the spiritual world and the physical world. It'll be things like how everything is happening with this so-called virus thing. I mean, it's like I have in a previous video. This is only a rapture, a spiritual rapture. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? They had your ass scared, saying, "Oh, if you the last ones here, you left behind." Okay, why did they leave us? Why would they leave and we still here? I mean, we still here to do something powerful. That means the ones are the people that we loved or friends or whatever that died. They died so they can come inside us, because it'll be an even bigger war. There's no such thing as a World War III. It's already happened, because it's a war in your mind to keep you away from your real power. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only doing this for the real people that's actually on that real journey, or that real stroll down that long ass road. It ain't filled with all this what people thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's tough, but it's very rewarding and gratifying. Not like physical things like that, but it's more of like powers. You get like your spiritual powers. You know what I'm saying? Like you see like on X-Men or whatever like that. So, but peace to you, man. All right. That's all I got for today. 24 just passed. Two numbers on the same side of each is from my art as balance. All right. Very balanced. Very balanced. But yeah, if you can get it, get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading through it. I'm in another book right now, but I go back and forth sometimes. But yeah, check it out. So, and if you get also if you get a chance, there's a book man, I can't think of the author's name. It's called Atlantis and Lemuria. I cannot think of his name right now. If you type that name in, Rudolf Steiner. That's his name, Rudolf Steiner. He came out with a book called Atlantis and Lemuria, and it deals with the fourth race on there in that book. And I was reading it one time, and I stepped away for a year or two, and I went back to it after I saw the fourth race in here that deals with the Necronomicon. We put everything together. Everything is partialized only because they don't want everything. We're not supposed to put everything together. So if it's partialized, they don't want us to put ourselves back together like we're supposed to put Atlantis back together. So we got 7 continents and put them back together. That means you're putting yourself back together. Your full power, potential power. All right? But yeah, peace, kill it. Kill a day and kill God. Nigga.